Post Vegas fatigue. Have you guys ever gone out on a trip and you guys go with the intention of having a good time, possibly even relaxing, and you come back to your regular life even more tired than when you started? Well, that's what happened to me. I went to Vegas this past weekend, and although I did have a good time, I did go see the fight, the Canelo against Terrence Crawford fight, and I am now fatigued. I don't know if because it was the loss that bad loss that Canelo suffered, or a combination of the bad fight that he did and just being out and about and staying up late, going here, going there, taking over rides from one place to another. I don't know what it is, but I am exhausted. Today's Wednesday, and I am still feel like I'm drained. Talking about the fight, was I wrong? Was I wrong? That was not expected by me. It was not expected by my friends, and it was not expected by the 85% of people going to the fight and supporting Canelo Alvarez. The fight started very competitively, as I thought, as a lot of people thought, but it never turned into what I initially thought it was going to turn into, which was going to be just an easy fight for Canelo. As a matter of fact, after the fourth round happened the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen. But instead of him going down in power, going down in stamina, going down in intensity, he became the opposite. He became more comfortable with sitting in the pocket with Canelo, counter punching him, moving around side to side, and he was actually not afraid anymore. No, I wasn't afraid. That's not the word, because Bud was never afraid. He's not an afraid boxer. He stays in the pocket, and that's why I thought it was going to be a banger, because he doesn't fight that way. But he started getting confidence. And I think he came to the conclusion that Canelo couldn't hurt him, and that is very impressive, because Bud is a much smaller fighter. He didn't look smaller than Canelo. As a matter of fact, he looked bigger. But when I say smaller, he's a smaller fighter. He's fought in 2 weight divisions below that. So it was disappointing to see Canelo struggle that much with him like that. It was a bad match for him. It was a bad performance on his end. And props to Crawford. He's a badass fighter. He's a great fighter. I'm happy for the people that went out and saw him. It was funny because at one point there was some African Americans, right, supporting their fighter, and I like black people. I'm married to a black person, so and it was funny because they would say, "Hey, let's go, Bud," and then there's only a few people around that were cheering for Bud, and the vast majority were supporting Canelo. Even some white people were supporting Canelo, and they were almost like afraid is not the word. They were skeptical. They were skeptical about cheering for Bud, for their fighter, because they didn't want to be called out by the rowdy Canelo fans, and I wasn't one of them. But there were some rowdy Canelo fans that just couldn't be cordial. There's ways of supporting your fighter, and there's ways to boo the other fighter respectfully, but some people were rude. And at the 4th, 5th round, the Crawford fans started getting more confident, and they started being a little bit more loud. But it was funny because I was right behind 2 African American males right below us, and they would cheer for their boxer, or yell out his name or whatever. Oh, he's say names, nothing disrespectful. And right after, like, they would almost catch themselves oh shit, I hope, hopefully nobody else calls me out. And I was just kind of like getting a kick out of it, because I was getting a kick out of it, but I was annoyed that, my fighter, my boxer was not coming and fighting the way I wanted him to do, the way I thought he could do. But it sucks. It sucks that you pay so much money to go see your fighter, right? And because you feel outnumbered, you don't feel like you can be as outspoken, loud, cheerful, because I think you should. They paid the same amount of money, or around the same money that I paid for. They should be able to, cheer for their fighter without having to feel guarded that people are going to call them out. And there was a guy behind me, my friends, that was obviously going for Canelo, and was rude, because when the two guys in front of me were saying, "Let's go, bud," and then the right away, the guy right behind me, he would say, "Fuck Bud fans," and it's like, come on, man. So that part I didn't enjoy, because even though my fighter wasn't winning, it's still not cool for Canelo fight fans to be rowdy like that. It just sends a bad message. It's just not cool. And I've seen that with football fans. I've seen it with baseball fans. And I think as a whole, as people, we need to be better. We need to be better. It's easy to troll people online. I'm even careful of that, because I don't like to troll people online, because it's really easy. You hide behind the screen, nobody's looking at you. A lot of people use like fake names or nicknames, and they don't even have a picture of their profile, of their face. So it's really easy to be rude, even racist, and when I see that in person, when they're being a little rude, it's boggling. It's I don't understand it, And the guy behind me, he was drunk already. I think he had been drinking. So had he been sober, probably he wouldn't have said those things. Had he had those guys in front of him, he probably wouldn't have said those things. So those are coward actions, I think. On the other hand, congratulations to all the Bud fans, because he fought his ass off. He did a great job. I liked him before. I liked him since he was in 135. My brother, which is a huge boxing fan too, he had already told me about 10 years ago how good of a fighter Crawford was. So I've watched a lot of his fights, and it's good to see. It's good to think now. If I take off my Canelo fan jacket off, it was good to see a fighter such like Bud Crawford, which seems to be a humble person, a humble fighter, deserving champion, to fight at that stage of his life and win. Win the third undisputed championship at 38. I mean, he's almost gonna be 39. He's gonna be 39 here in the next week or two. Who does that? Beats the current champion, which Canelo was the actual champion at 35 years old. And it was, I saw history that night. Even though I didn't see my fighter win, I saw history being made. And this fight, the boxing world will be talking about it for years and years to come. And I can say I was there. I've seen other boxing matches. But I had never seen Canelo fight, and that's why I was kind of disappointed. But now, after I was gonna say postpartum feeling of the fight, but after being able to process it for a few days, I didn't want to see any videos online. I didn't want to see any of that stuff, because I was upset. I was disappointed more than anything. But now, finally coming off, I'm finally able to process it. I'm finally able to think about it. I'm finally able to talk about it, and I can at least say that I was there when Bud won that significant fight. It was really amazing to see. He did everything right. I think he fought close to the perfect fight. And if there was ever a rematch, which I don't think Canelo will do, I think Bud Crawford will beat him even more badly. I don't see any adjustments that Canelo will be able to do to be able to beat him, outpoint him, outbox him. I don't see it now. I didn't see it before the fight how he could lose. Now I don't see how he could win, and that's honest. That's real talk right there, because he looked slower. He looked he didn't look as smart as Crawford. His counter punching was not there. His reach is not there, and I think that's why Crawford was able to beat him when they were going when they were so close to each other, because Bud was faster and he stayed in the pocket and he has a longer reach. Canelo had a hard time. I don't even think he tried to out jab him. I don't think, and if he did, it wasn't for very long, because I don't remember seeing that anywhere in the fight where he actually tried to. And I don't think he did because he knew he couldn't. The reach wasn't there. So it was it was just very interesting to see. I have yet to see the fight on TV. It's on Netflix right now. You can watch it. Like I said, I've been feeling some kind of way about it, but I think now I can go back and actually see it round by round, because it's different when you're watching it with all a multitude of people screaming, yelling, and you're talking to your friends. It's hard to pay attention to it. And I wasn't sitting right at the front. I was sitting mid-level, and they had the screens up above the ring, but it's not the same. It's not the same as watching on TV. You can watch the previews or the reruns, or the replays, I should say. But I'm now gonna be able to. I'm gonna go see it and see what I think of it. But my friend that was with me at the fight, he said he saw the whole fight again. I think Tuesday, a couple days ago. Yesterday, today's Wednesday, and he said that he even looked worse on the replay on the fight on the TV as he rewatched it than what he did in person. He goes, because there were so many people supporting Canelo that night that any little thing he did, any little jab or kind of like left hook he would give Crawford, he stopped it with this shoulder here. People would make noise like, oh shit, he did something, oh nice, and then you could hear people just want to scream and say, hell yeah, we're beating him. But when you watch it on TV, you don't really hear all that all that noise. It's different. And he said that after watching it the second time around, that Canelo even looked worse. And when I don't know if you saw that they asked him if he was willing to take the rematch, Canelo carefully did not answer that question. He said he was going to go back and see what was best. So he didn't say, yes, I'm going to take that, or no, I'm going to take that, because he needs to talk to his coach, Eddie Reynoso, and basically ask him, hey, where did we go wrong? Do you think I can still beat him, or where are we at? Because if they don't think they can beat him, I don't think they will give him a rematch. So I think it's a rematch clause that they have in their contract. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure if he really wanted to, they would give him that rematch, because I think he should be entitled to receive a rematch, especially being a champion for so long, So going back to what I said, it was a good fight, and now I am finally coming out of my post Vegas trip depression, exhaustion. Someone said on one of my last video that I said that some people don't know shit about boxing. I kind of laughed it out. I said, yeah, okay, we'll see after the fight. We'll see who's right or who's wrong, and whoever that person was, damn, yeah, either you're right or well, I know you're right. You were right. Either you guessed it right by accident, or you did know something that I didn't see. Most people thought that Canelo was gonna win. The odds, another thing, the odds were plus 180. It even made it up to plus. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Minus 180 for Canelo, which means, for those of you that have never bet, that don't understand bets, that for you to win $100, you have to be willing to risk 180. So I ended up betting almost $1,300, and I was expecting to receive almost $600 in return. $600, $650, somewhere around the lines. And I'm saying that because I made several bets. I started with $200, and then I bet $300, and I bet more. And then when I was in Vegas, I said, yeah, Canelo's gonna win. The odds went up to minus 190, and I still made another bet. So I lost 13 or 1350, 1380. I cannot remember. I don't want to think about it. And I lost my money. And that's what I think said on my last video too, is put your money where your mouth is. And I did that. I put some money on it, money that I was not gonna be happy about losing, but I could afford it, and I was willing to risk it, because I was very confident in my bet. Now looking back, I could have easily turned those $1,400 that I was willing to risk to lose into almost double that, had I gone for Crawford, because he was at plus, I believe it was plus 240 at one point, somewhere there. And I briefly looked at the odds, and I didn't really care to pay attention, because I was not gonna bet on him. I was not. But I think you almost doubled your money, or you doubled your money plus a little bit more. So for those of you that did put what your you did put your money where your mouth was, and you did go for Crawford, kudos to you, because you almost doubled your money. And I didn't. I lost. So yeah, you gotta be able to win and learn how to win. And when you lose, you gotta be able to lose as well. So you can't be a sore loser. There's one thing I dislike. I don't like sore losers. And even though I'm a loser in my bet, I'm not a sore loser, and I know how to recognize. So, and that's why I was making this video. And I'm not gonna delete my last video. If anyone sees it, yeah, I went for Canelo and I lost, and I was super fucking wrong. It is what it is.